Hello and welcome to the Dailies on Equa Television International, where we give you the news as they drop on our papers. I am Senna Elisha, and Rachel Tansley is with me in the studio. Good morning, Rachel.
Sarah.
How are you doing?
I'm fine. How about you?
The political season, the results and everything.
Well, I think it has been a period of mixed reaction for everybody, regardless of the excitement. There's always the question mark of hoping this person would deliver. So we're just still at the verge of, yes, you know what, we are happy. Some of us are happy, candidates are in power. Some are not happy. Their candidate didn't make it to the top or where they wanted them to be. But still, yes, it's all about one Nigeria and praying that whoever is elected and has won the election should just deliver what the people want from them.
Very important, yes. The mandate of the people. We're live on Facebook and on YouTube. You can do well to drop your comment, your contribution on any story that it's of importance to you or relevance to you. And later on the show, we will open the phone line so you can actually call in and also air your views on any story that is of interest to you. Let us quickly run through the paper, Rachel, starting with the first news.
On First News newspaper, Buruji Kashamu's 26-year-old son Rashid wins Ogun Assembly seat. Still on election, police soldiers clash, around 21 persons killed on election days. On election day, says EU mission claims 2 cops. Zamfara INEC officials put kidnapped regain freedom. INEC suspends result collation in Abia and Enugu. And the big story, police soldiers clash around Taraba Collation Center, claims 2 cops. The writer says 2 others seriously injured in crossfire. Soldiers shot 2 police officers dead, went away with their rifle. This is coming from the PPRO. Alleged soldiers harassed strip-naked policemen on election duty. On the downside of the paper, INEC declares Sanwo-Olu Zulu Mohammed re-elected as Reverend Father Alia Yusuf Mutfwang Inwafuru Obewuri wins poll. INEC declares Adamawa Guba poll inconclusive. There's a plot to alter Adamawa Guba results in favor of APC. PDP alleges, and that's all the news on First News newspaper.
Richard, I wanted to cross over or jump over, but this story actually caught my attention. Yes. The rivalry between police and soldiers. And I'm worried because even before the election, we've seen rivalry between these 2 security bodies.
True.
And it's either as a result of maybe an argument or something that, you realize that it wasn't really that serious that would lead to even exchange of right. Like it got to the point that soldier will have to kill a policeman. It's really sad, and I wonder what the issue is. And over the years, I've realized that when it comes to governorship elections, we have more violence than even the presidential election. And this is the election we've been making emphasis that it's an election that is closer to the people. And it is expected that it should even be more peaceful, we should organize ourselves in a more peaceful manner. But then over the years, we've seen that there are always pockets of violence left, right, and center when it comes to the gubernatorial or governorship election. So I'm just wondering, I'm just curious, what really is the cost of all of this bitterness, anger, that it will even get to the point that some people will resolve to that using of talks, hoodlums, left, right, and center. No wonder we've seen that there are places that, there's actually, I say, suspend because of all of this violence that have erupted as a result of, their election. So I'm just wondering what warrants for that, such thing that a soldier will have to do such to us policemen, and even taking the rifles away. That's
true. I think, Sarah, the problem here is separation of duty. I've had several discussions where we keep saying that there's a misplacement of duty. I don't know if that's the word I should be using, but what I'm trying to say is that there are situations where the army is not even supposed to be involved in the first place. And I want to believe that when it comes to a matter of civic activities, such as voting, soldiers are not supposed to be there, existing together with the police. We have the police on ground. These are where you need to take care of civilians coordinate them, and these police are also armed just like the soldiers. You wonder, if they are put in the same place, what were the responsibilities saddled on each of them? What were the army told that that is their duty to do at that place? And what was the police told that this is your duty at this specific location? Then why are you clashing? Because I believe if I'm at a place and I'm being told that my responsibility is to observe, I don't think I should interfere with somebody's responsibility that is to organize. So why is there the clash? When you put soldiers and police at the same duty post, what are their responsibility and why are they clashing? In the first place, I believe that growing up, we know that, okay, this is what the army is supposed to be.
You hardly
When
see them.
you don't see the army where people are queuing to cast their vote, or where there is a civil, even in a protest, the army are not supposed to come in. Army are supposed to come into situation where it's out of hand, where it's above the police, where there's so much violence that it's beyond the police force to handle. Then you now see them even during election, and then you wonder, where is the problem coming from? Are these two law enforcement agencies supposed to coexist at the same place? And even if, what are their responsibilities that is leading them to clash? Then I feel the problem is not between whoever started the fight. It's not between the policeman that was there or the soldier that was there, but the superiors in the first place that put them in that place. On what grounds, on what responsibility, what was the orders given to these different on law enforcement agencies, knowing fully well that this is the responsibility of a soldier and this is the responsibility of a policeman. This is how they're to come into a situation and how not to come into a situation. This is something we shouldn't be seeing, but for some reason it is happening, and I hope it's been addressed.
Of course, just like you say, I just hope we go back to the status quo where we see, if you see the army, it's mostly because they are terrorists.
So, yeah, exactly.
Far back there that
True.
they should take care of. We have the civil defense. They can actually come and help.
They can.
From the name civil, you know,
Yeah,
that they work
exactly.
with civilians.
It's
you know.
true.
But we just hope that we'll be able to rectify all of this. Well, let's take a look at the Daily Times newspaper, where we have how Japa syndrome is affecting brown and Nigerians' economy. You can start reading that on the front page, and more of that inside the paper. And the big story, governorship and assembly election. Uprun as INEC declares Adamawa Guba poll inconclusive, with the rider anxiety in Abia, Enugu, and Zamfara. APC win 15 states, PDP 7, and NPP 1. You can read more of that inside the paper. And we have research, I think, coming from the UNICEF, where we see 78 million Nigerian children at risk of water-related crisis, says the UNICEF, and we know that it's already, the rains are here, so we'll definitely tend to see issues like this. Well, we hope that something will be done to provide safe and healthy water, especially for children, where we see cholera, diarrhea killing people. Still on Daily Times newspaper, aviation unions seek perpetual injunction against congestion of airports. Nigeria, Japan trade hit $10 billion. You can find that on page 15. NCC set to curb data depletion of telecoms consumers. You can find that story on page 17. We have a picture story where we can see cobblers praying their trade on railway tracks in Lagos in spite of the risks, and this is really very sad. We saw the accident, I think, last week between the train and the bus rider, and all of that. We can see traders by the side, and it's very risky.
It is.
We hope that the Lagos government will do something to rectify issues like this and, you know, give them a proper place to actually sell, not, you know, seeing them by the railway, which is very, very dangerous for them.
I
And I think that's all on the Daily Times newspaper.
Yes, Sally, sorry, I was just going to say that I believe that these are the kind of simple and common law and other problems we shouldn't be having in Nigeria. In the first place, those people are not supposed to be there whatsoever. We should have a system put in place that such problem doesn't even exist in the first place. Sele, what are they doing? This is a functional railway track. It is moving. Trains pass on this railway track. Why are we having this
I'm
problem?
even worried. It's not
I'm
a stop
worried.
point.
Exactly. It's not a stop point. This is worrisome, and we shouldn't even be seeing such. I just hope that we wake up and pay attention to the little details that make a country grow. We keep saying development is not really all about the big things, but the tiny things. Civilization is not about building skyscrapers, but even organization from the grassroots, the way we think, our mindset, the way we behave as Nigerians, the way we trade, even how clean our environment is being civilized, even the way we reason as people. I'm a sane person. I don't think I want to go and sit down somewhere dangerous like this in the name of trying to do my business. So these are some of the things that I just pray, and I'm looking forward to in Nigeria where we grow past this kind of dysfunctional way of doing things.
True, Rachel.
On the Guardian newspaper, talks invade Kano APC secretariat. How Odioga's petition stopped declaration of Guba election winner in Enugu. You can find the details on page 7. Dissecting the Supreme Court in Lawan versus Makina. You can find the details on page 12. Contributors received 208 billion naira as unemployment benefits in 6 months. And the big story on the Guardian newspaper, protests as INEC suspends election results in Adamawa, Abia, and Enugu. The writer says 2023 election lacked transparency, damaged public confidence in INEC. This is a statement coming from the European Union. Sani, Sule, Oborowori, Fubura, Yusuf, others declared winners. You can start with the story on the front page and continue on page 6. At the downside of the paper, we have INEC declares Kebbi gubernatorial election inconclusive. Lingering economic challenges push 44 firms off NGX leaks in 7 years. This is a business column, and you can read more of that on page 15. We have another column that shows the governorship election results in other states, and that's all the news on the Guardian newspaper.
On Daily Independent newspaper, INEC suspend collation of Guba polls result in Abia and Enugu state. You can start on the front page and on page 7. INEC officials, APC security agencies swindling PDP. This is coming from Anyocha Ayu, the chairman of the PDP. And also the big story on governorship election, Mohammed Sule Zulum re-elected in Bauchi, Nasarawa, and Borno. With the right away, we can see Bago, Mutfwan, Alaya, Niger, Plateau, Ebonyi, Benue, Delta, Cross River, Kano, and Kaduna. Those are where we've already have some of the result of those who have emerged back, and those are coming in newly as governors in the various states. PDP wins 17 Bayelsa Assembly seat, APC 4, APGA 2. You can read more detail of that story on page 7. Delta Guba poll, Omo Agege reject declaration of Aboriwori as winner. You can find that on page 6. Expert call for urgent solution to Naira scarcity as the NBC holds meeting. You can find more detail on page 6. Ex-JAM registrar Ajiride sues ICPC for breach of rights. You can find more of that on page 6. And we have policemen shot dead in clash with soldier at INEC Collision Center. You can start more on the front page and read more on page 4. Downside of the paper, for quenching Gamburi market fire, Zulum reward 149 firemen with 14.9 million naira. This is the right step coming from the governor of Borno State. We hope that he uses money effectively. And that's all on Daily Independent newspaper.
On leadership, APC consolidates win Benue, Borno, Cross River, Kaduna, Nasarawa, Sokoto, Ebonyi. PDP retains Bauchi, Delta, Rivers, and retakes Plateau. You can find the details on page 4. We have a briefing. Follow our live coverage of the 2023 general elections on our website. This is coming from the Leadership newspaper. Drama as INEC declares Banani's historic march inconclusive. The writer says PVC's collected more than vote margin between APC, candidate. This is coming from Governor Fintiri. Election to hold in 47 wards across 21 Adamawa local government areas. Results suspended in Abia and Enugu. The details can be found on page 4. 78 million children at high risk of water-related crisis in Nigeria. Despite weaker naira, Nigeria's foreign trade surplus rises by 162%. Cash crunch killing businesses, Afenifere laments. The details can be found on page 6. We have new kids on the block. 3 new legislators in their 20s share plans for state. We have Ogun State, 26-year-old, Kwara, 26-year-old, Nasarawa, 25-year-old, and you can find the details on page 7, and that's all the news on leadership.
You know, as you're reading the aid, I was just smiling, Rachel,
Yes.
because it's really nice and relieving when you see youths are actually making part of the, you know, the game changers that we've been pushing for. We've been saying we need a new Nigeria, we need a better Nigeria. The youth are not too young to rule. I mean, that was the bill that we kept passing until it was finally, you know, being passed into law and all of that. So we hope that they represent their various states. Above all, they're representing Nigeria, because if we're having somebody in Nasarawa at 25 years, I mean, he's still in his prime. So I hope that they actually do the right thing, not just about the youth out there, but let them represent. I believe that Luther continues. We have that from our tertiary institution down there. So I believe that they are able and they are capable, so we congratulate them and wish them all the best as they, you know, ride on.
And Stella, I hope they are smart in the sense that it doesn't end with them, that as they have found their way into the system, that they pave more way for other youths to be a part of the system, because that's the only way we can truly say we're not too young to rule and prove that we can rule. And not only can we rule, but that we can carry other young youths like us along. Exactly. This is the ground where, as you're there, you begin to train another young youth like you that, you know what, let's keep this going. When I'm about leaving or whenever my tenure is done, I have 10 more capable youths that I can throw to the youths and say, you know what, if you vote anyone among these two, we're in safe hands. And this is how we can gradually reclaim Nigeria. Because I know one of the things that is tiring for us as youth is they keep telling us we are the future leaders of tomorrow. And we've had people that ruled in the military regime still ruling us now. And you wonder, when would you be the future leader of the country? But this is showing us that, you know what, we can be the future leaders. And I hope that they are smart enough to make sure that it doesn't end with them, but that this is a process that continues.
Of course, so we are waiting for the, you know, the president-elect, you know.
Yes, as he said, exactly.
He promised
He promised us.
We're waiting for his
we are waiting.
We hope that more youths and women will be in leadership. Let's take a look at the Vanguard newspaper. Banks borrowing from CBN down by 14% to 453.7 billion naira. You can find that story on page 19. And we have Sharif Yusuf, Nawil Furu, Zulum, Mutfwan, and others emerge governors, with the rider governors-elect extend olive branch to opponents unveil plans for state. How Ganduji, Lalong, Tambuwal, Otom, and others anointed candidates fail. INEC declares Adamawa inconclusive and suspend coalition in Abia and Enugu. Tension in Enugu, Abia as INEC halt result coalition. You can find that on page 11. Electoral officers escape lynching in Niger. You can find more on page 31. Police confirm killing of 2 officers by soldiers in Taraba. European Union mission knocks INEC say violent vote buying merit the polls. You can find that on page 8. And then still on the issue, we have 78 million Nigerian children risk water-related crisis still coming from the UNICEF. And we can see the governorship contest table. For those who are yet to know that, for Lagos, we still have Babajide Sanwo-Olu of the APC. He's elected. Oyo, we have Sheyi Makinde still coming back. In Akwa Ibom, we have Eno for the PDP. In Kwara, we have Abdul Razak. In Yobe, we have Malam Buni. In Kastina, we have D. Kurada. In Jigawa, we have Umar Namadi. Gombe, we have Inua Yahaya coming back. Cross River, we have Basi from the APC. Bauchi, we have Malam Mohammed. He's coming back in PDP. Kano, we have Abba Yusuf Kabir, NNPP. In Plateau, we have Caleb Mutfwan. That is Plateau retaken by PDP. In Eboyi, we have Francis from the APC. In Niger, we have Umar Bago. Ogun, we have Dapo Abiodun. Borno, we have Baba Gana Zulum coming back. In Benue, we have Reverend Father Ali in APC. In Delta, we have Sharif from the PDP. Sokoto, we have Ahmed Aliyu, APC. And so you can just, take a very good number, look at it and see how they lead, the differences between them and their, counterparts. And that's all on the Vanguard newspaper.
On Nigerian Tribune, JAMB sets new guidelines as it resumes registration of direct entry. Some candidates using fake A-level results to secure admission, it says. Water-related crisis endangering lives of 78 million children in Nigeria. Naira scarcity persists as currency in circulation dropped to 981.09 billion naira in February 2023, a report. Following congratulates Makinde, Kogi APC wins 22 assembly seats, PDP 2. INEC colluding with APC security agents to rob PDP, coming from IU. You can find the details on page 15. Still on governorship poll, NNPP flips Kano. PDP takes Plateau, APC wins Benue. PDP retains Delta, Bauchi, APC victorious in Ebonyi, Cross River, Borno, Kaduna, KB, Adamawa poll declared inconclusive. INEC suspends collation of results in Abia and Enugu. At the downside of the paper, Sanwo-Olu approves 20% salary increment for workers. You can find the details on page 5, and we can see a picture where we can see Sanwo-Olu, Governor re-elect of Lagos State, celebrating. And that's all the news on Nigerian Tribune.
Before we flip to the next paper, Rachel, I just hope that we said this yesterday, I guess, is it on the show or on the choice, where we said we want to see opposition parties, not being against the present, whoever.
Yes.
Is it that another party have taken over, or where we still maintenance
yes.
of the same party? But then for those that maybe, let's say, for the likes of somewhere like Plateau State, where we have the PDP retaking power from the APC, this should not be any fracas of any form, but we should see, a continuation. It's just a party. That is what, if you ask me, it's just a party. But it's still about one Nigeria. We still want to see continuation. We want to see infrastructure. We want to see development. We want to see our health sector, doing well, education, doing well. And, and just on a lighter note, I just hope that this is not where, or even though not really light, but I hope this is not where we see civil servants suffering because they decided to give to another party. Because over the years, we've seen that in a situation where another party is taking over and you're not happy, we've seen where some politicians will decide to punish the civil servants because of that. So we hope that will not be the case in any of the states where we see either the APC or the PDP retaking power. But let us see that there's a continuation of development, because at the end of the day, it's all for the benefit, it's all for the good of the state. So we hope that this is what we'll see as the days go by. So we just hope to see better Nigeria.
Like Saleh, just as you said, we've witnessed administrations in Nigeria where everybody thrived, regardless of what party you voted for or wherever you stand. We've witnessed administration at the presidential level in this country where everybody as a citizen of Nigeria thrived. Even on the plateau, we've witnessed an administration where everybody thrived and life was flourishing and good to everybody at every level, regardless of where your party, who you voted for or what. That is the kind of Nigeria we're looking for. It's not about a party. It's about a state. Party will come, party will go, Plateau State will remain. Administrations will come, administration will go, the state will remain. How we know you're truly patriotic is how you take the responsibility of a state. If everybody can thrive and flourish under your administration, regardless of where they stand, then it means you truly want the best for the state, and we have witnessed that. And we are looking forward to witnessing the same thing, even at the presidential level and at our state level, that it doesn't matter that nobody will suffer because of where they stand. Our just as you said it, our civil workers, our civil servants will not suffer because they did not vote or there and there, or we won't see the situation where the way you will get people to vote for you is you promising them their salary as if they didn't work for it, or you're doing them a favor. We're looking forward to such being eliminated completely from our system, and that we have an economy, a system, rather an administration that everybody would thrive and flourish on.
True, Rachel, you just hit the nail on the head. You know, begin to promise workers salary as if you're actually dashing them. And most of this infrastructure we see, it's all of it's from the taxpayers' money. It's not your personal money.
It's not yours. It's not.
We hope to see a better Nigeria. I think we're almost ripe for a break. So at this moment, let's just take this break, and when we come back, we'll open the phone lines and continue with the newspaper review. Please do not go anywhere. We'll be right back after the break. Thank you for staying tuned. It's still the Dailies on Echo Television International. We've been extracting various stories on the paper, looking at some of the, governors-elect in the various states, where we've also seen the places like Abia, Enugu, where there's actually a halt, and also Adamawa and other states where we see it's inconclusive. So our phone lines are open at this moment, so you can do well to call us. Please do remember to turn down the volume of your TV set when you call us, or move totally away so we can hear you clearly here in the studio, as other viewers would also love to hear what you have to contribute concerning any story. I still have Rachel here with me. Thank you so much, Rachel.
You're welcome, Sarah.
All right, let's take a look at the Nation newspaper. Lagos okays 20% salary raise for workers with the rider payment backdated. You can find the detail of that story on page 5 of the Nation newspaper. Cash crisis banking infrastructure for expansion. More also inside the paper. Expect new move for Ramadan tomorrow, says Sultan. JAM set new deadline guideline for direct entry registration. You can find that on page 27. Polls inconclusive in Adamawa, Kebbi, Abia, and Enugu. You can see PDP protests, so you can read more of that protest on page 3 of the Nation newspaper. APC win 15 states, PDP 6, and NPP takes Kano. With the rider, Labour Party leads in Abia. Foreigner Otu governors-elect, so you can read more of that on the front page and also page 4. And we have Inamani quits PDP, that is coming from Enugu. All right, we have a call. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning. Please go on with your contribution.
Okay, my name is Charles. I'm calling from Ebonyi State Capital, Abakaliki.
Okay, good morning, Charles.
My contribution this morning is that I just want to say that what I am observing is that there is a conspiracy against the people of Nigeria. And that conspiracy is between the political class and the ruling class and INEC. Because when you see what is going on, for instance, in Ebonyi State, when you declare somebody a winner and there is no celebration in the streets, people are not happy. How can you now translate or say that winning, it is the will of the people, or what people really voted for? And it is like that all over the federation. And people are complaining. And where the will of the people, as people try to make sure that their will prevails, you see INEC coming up either to suspend the collection of results or declaring the election inconclusive. Why? Take, for instance, Abia State, where a state that has 17 local governments and 16 local governments have been declared, except one. And you know very well that even after declaring that one, that the person who is leading will still win. Why going ahead to suspend collection of results? And there is this information we have that there is the specific information, specific directive given to all the INEC reps at the state by the INEC headquarters on how to go about the election, how to collect the results in order to favor whoever they want to favor. So that's why I said that this conspiracy against Nigeria and against the people of Nigeria, for me, I would boldly say that I'm highly disappointed in INEC. Where I voted in the presidential election, I know everybody voted, we stayed behind, and the results were sorted, ballot papers were sorted out, and the results, everything collected and recorded. The only problem was that the results could not be uploaded. And the INEC promised us that when they get to the office that they're going to upload it. And we agreed. If you go to that polling unit, to that particular unit, that result is still posted there. But go to INEC portal. Go there. Up to today, that polling unit is recorded 0. Up to this moment. So what are we saying? What are we telling ourselves? That is why you see, anger rising up here and there. Nigerians are not happy. Nigerians are not happy, honestly. And me particularly, I'm not happy with that. Because all of us, we went into this election with the high hopes that whatever INEC said that this is what they are going to, electoral law, that they are going to follow it to the letter and give us, a true reflection of what Nigerians want in this election. I'm not happy. God will just help us. Thank you, Sele and Richard, for what they are doing. I God continue to bless us in Jesus' name.
Amen. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Let's quickly round up the Nation newspaper, where we have Inamani quit PDP, that's from Enugu State. And then we have an EFCC arrest 4 NCAA officials. You can find more detail of that on page 3. We have the column where we can see the various states winner and the runner-up, and that's all on the Nation newspaper.
On Nigerian News Direct, ex-JAM Registrar Ojerinde sues ICPC for breach of rights. Buhari's reign, federal government rakes in 10 trillion naira VAT in 8 years. Federal government targets $70 billion from waterways, multimodal transportation networks. And the big story, tensions in states as outcomes of Guba House of Assembly elections spring surprises. The writer says INEC declares Adamawa election inconclusive. PDP kicks as female APC candidate gives sitting governor tough time. Omo Agege loses to PDP candidates in Delta. Anambra, Yobe join Osun Assembly Speaker lose election. APC loses to Kwankwaso's and NPP. Governor declares curfew. Other losers cry foul, prepare for court battle. Mixed reaction as INEC comes under fire of monitoring bodies. Inamani dumps PDP after losing election. Tax administrators must match pace of global technological advancement. This is coming from the CATA. We have a caller.
Abia State election. OKC Bazu is not doing the right thing in Abia State, being a sitting governor of Abia. And the people of Abia State is not happy about his administration.
Hello, we can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
And it was only his local his polling unit, and where the coalition sent that storm, distraught collection center, distraught collection of.
Okay, I think we lost that caller.
All right.
Please do have to call us back.
All right, thank you so much. And let's move on to the Punch newspaper. EFCC grill 4 NCAA chiefs over alleged 2 billion naira fraud. You can find detail of that on page 29 of the Punch newspaper. Anger at NNPCL hires expatriate to head the subsidiary. So you can find that on page 24. European Union observers blame politicians and INEC for vote buying. You can find detail of that story on page 8. Accept defeat, Delta Governor-elect Omo Agege. You can find that story on page 12. The big story, APC win 15 states, PDP 6, NNPP takes Kano with the rider. 27 killed nationwide in election violence. Togri, Gandoji, Tambua candidate lose. PDP reject Ogun Kestina result. And then we have INEC suspend Abia Enugu coalition declares Adamawa governorship poll inconclusive. And we can see some of the column where elections have taken place, and then we can see the blue is for APC, and then red 6 states where PDP have, and then yellow, which is Kanu, where NNPP is actually ruling. Downside of the paper, Sanwo-Olu raises civil servant salary by 20%. We have from human angle, Lagos husband arranged for wife's death. You can find detail on page 4 and 5.
We have a caller.
We have another call. Good morning.
Be very careful of how he's treating the people of Abia State and do the right thing. And INEC is not helping matters by what they are doing in Abia State. Just like what went on in this 25th February election, presidential election. People of Nigeria are not happy what is going on. We have our choice. We can't go on in this way in this nation. Election is not do or die affair. People should learn how to respect authorities and do the right thing. Okay, Zipazu should do the right thing in Abia State, because the consequence of what he's doing will be for him and his generation, because people doesn't know what they do that is wrong until when they leave office. They will not realize that what they are doing is wrong, because the people of Abia State have a choice. People of Nigeria have a choice. Why disturbing the choice of the people? Why imposing yourself and your candidate on people? These people must win. These people must not win. You should allow people to exercise their franchise and their rights. Look at what is going on in Lagos. Ethnic city, tribalism, going on in Lagos. Who taught Nigerians this thing? Politicians. When during military we are living in unity, happy, as one Nigeria, nobody's fighting anybody. Why democracy? We are fighting each other, killing people because of power. Nigerians are not happy what is going on in this nation, and I pray that they will correct their mistakes. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much, sir. And the last story on the Punch newspaper, we have musician friend kill, BDC operators guard arrested. You can find detail on page 4 and 5, and that's all on the Punch newspaper.
On New Telegraph, Forex crisis. Nigeria's import from China down 29.04% to 5.81 trillion naira. Currency in circulation drops to 982.09 billion naira. This is a report. You can find the details on page 25. Ramadan 2023, Sultan urges Muslims to search for new moon Wednesday. Senate President Speaker Group make case for Southeast and Northwest. Oil price crashed to lowest since December 2021. Popular Lagos-based auto dealer Obona arraigned. You can find the details on page 6. And the big story, Guba poll, Mohammed Sule Zulum returned for second term. As NNPP grabs Kano, PDP secures Delta and Plateau, APC wins Niger, Ebonyi, Cross River, Sokoto, Kaduna. Okowa, Yade Umahi, Bello, Konkoso install clonies. Wike, Ogwanyi, Epezu battle for successors. You can find all the details on page 2, 26, 29, and 30. EU observers carpet INEC security agencies says 21 deaths occurred during Guba poll, and public confidence trust in commission damaged on February 25th. Election free and fair in Lagos coming from a U.S. group. You can find the details on page 2 and 8. Kano imposes dusk to dawn curfew over violent celebration of NNPP's win. Tension protests in Kaduna, Enugu over Guba results. Soldiers shoot 2 policemen dead in Taraba. Alleged 2 billion naira fraud, EFCC arrests NCAA's account director and 3 others. You can find the details on page 2. 15-year-old Ondo Varsity graduate first sets of students, 26 students back first class. It's a good one. You can find the details on page 8. At the downside of the paper, we have a study. High caffeine levels tied to lower body fat and diabetes risks. You can find the details on page 8. And we have picture stories where you can see people celebrating their victories. And that's all the news on New Telegraph.
On Daily Sun newspaper, European Union thumbs down for Guba and State Assembly polls, with the writer says Nigerians boycotted elections over disappointment with presidential poll, puts death figure at 21. You can find detail of that story on page 26. The big story, governorship election result, tension in Abia, Enugu, Adamawa, Taraba, Kano, Nasarawa, and Kaduna. 2 protesters killed in Lafia. Residents defer curfew to celebrate NNPP victory in Kano. You can find that on page 6. Customers swore on banks as cash shortage, e-channel glitches persist. You can find that angle of that story on page 2. Sanwo-Olu raises salary by 20% to workers. You can find that too on page 26. Senate presidency, Niger Delta Group condemns campaign against Senator Kalu. You can find that on page 27. Top NCAA staff in EFCC net over arranged 2 billion naira fraud. And we have Oboriwori Sule, Mutfan Bago, Otto wins Delta, Nasarawa, Ebonyi, Plateau, Niger, and Cross River, with the rider INEC suspend collation of Abia, Enugu governorship election result. Downside of the paper, on the 10th Assembly, group makes case for the Southeast and Northwest. You can find out on page 27. We have some of the pictures of those who have been elected in the various capacity of governors, and that's all on Daily Sun newspaper.
On Chintrust newspaper, our paper for the younger ones. On page 7, you can find Teen Extra. On page 9, cooking tips. And on page 10, short stories. Page 14, well-being. The big story there, NTIC students break record with 80 medals in maths competition. Meet 14-year-old Nigerian listed among Forbes youngest under 30. You can start with the story on the front page and continue on page 4. At the downside, we have Premier International School students promote recycling in science fair. And I hope that this doesn't stop at a science fair in a school, but that recycling become the thing that we should adopt, because we have a lot of plastic waste.
True.
And we know what plastic waste does. It's more dangerous even to our water, the sea, and other places, even more than land. It is dangerous everywhere. However, it has where it's more dangerous, because in the end, when we dump our plastic waste inappropriately, it always finds its way to water, and we know the kind of damage it does. So rather than us having plastic waste, we should adopt recycling. I think that's what a lot of change makers, when it comes to environmentalists, doing things for the climate and the ecosystem system, one of the best things that they have done is recycling. That, you know what, it doesn't have to be a waste, because it can be recycled and reused. We have a lot of recycled water bottles we don't just know, but one of the differences is that when you touch a recycled water bottle, it's more soft than the one that is made new. The recycled water bottle is just easy. Once you squeeze it, it's like you have a paper bag with you, and that's so we do have recycled plastic, but it's not just much. We are still having plastic waste. The aim of recycling is to reduce it to the complete level where it doesn't affect our environment, and I just hope it doesn't stop at as a school fair, but it becomes something that we adopt nationally and globally. Yes, you can find the details on page 4, and that's all the news on Teen Trust.
All right, let's take a look at the Voice of Liberty newspaper, where we have European.
We have a call.
Okay, we have a call. Hello, good morning.
We lost that call.
Okay, I think we lost our call. We hope you call us back again. All right, let's go on with the Voice of Liberty, where we have European Union mission knocks INEC, says violence vote buying mirrored the governorship polls. And then we have the post-governor election talk set ablaze House of Kanu singer Ra Ra Ra. And I think we should talk a little on this issue because it's been like on most of our paper where the European Union have to say it about governorship election, and it's not far-fetched from what I said in the beginning, where I said it seems as if for the governorship election, the State House of Assembly, we've recorded more violence, more death than even the presidential election. And you begin to wonder what result to such things when this is supposed to be where we'll see less of all of this. In fact, we shouldn't be seeing violence in any election. No wonder the Labour Party candidate said something as simple as an election, people have to lose their life. Okay, we have another call. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
We can hear you, sir. Go on, please.
What I'm saying,
yes, sir.
As they not, the people have voted and the results are already almost out. What is holding it to the extent of inconclusive?
Okay.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
I'm asking the question, why is it still inconclusive? Have they not finished voting and the counting and the rest of them?
You're asking for which state, sir?
Enugu State.
Okay.
All right.
So, why is it still inconclusive? Is there any local government that has not they have not voted or have not been counted?
Okay, I believe this is a question that we don't have the complete information concerning to why it's inconclusive. I believe INEC is in the best position. He said Enugu.
Yeah, there seems to be a little confusion.
Yes.
It's obvious. Okay. Yeah, there seems to be a little confusion in Enugu. No wonder. We've just seen from the paper that Inamani have done PDP because
he didn't win the election.
Yeah. So there's the kind of unrest and all of that, but then he just keep his fingers crossed.
Yes.
We hope that when all of that is being resolved, then we'll finally
and we're just hoping, because we have another call of concerning Abia saying that there was just one local government waited upon, and just for that local government you are declaring inconclusive. So I just hope INEC comes and clear the air. Rather of inconclusive, let the right thing be done. Because I don't think one local government result, in as much as it's very important, like one vote can make a difference, no doubt, but something should be done to avert the election from being inconclusive, as it obvious is not what the people want. People want their vote to be conclusive and let it count. So I feel if it's in INEC's power to make sure that that is not the case of these states, then they should do everything possible.
Because
yes, we have a caller.
All right.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. One, to start with, I love your program.
Thank you very much.
Just, yeah. I want to comment on the side of the paper that said Namane. You see, I like what happened because some people are thinking in their mind that Enugu State, this what happened in Enugu State is not to all the politicians. It's time. It's high time when are going to attack the bull by the horn. Nnamani should go and rest. His time has expired. Like what let the youth come up and bring new and fresh idea that will take Nigeria into another dimension. That's my conclusion. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Let's quickly round up on the Voice of Liberty. That was the last call we can take for today. Atiku Obi not prepared. Only Tinubu is prepared to be Nigerian's president, coming from Bishop Kuka. And we have from Kaduna, INEC declares APC Uba Sani winner of the governorship election. And that was declared yesterday in Kaduna State. INEC declares Adamawa Kebbi governorship election inconclusive. Protests hit Nasarawa over Guba election outcome, one feared dead. INEC suspend coalition of results in Abia and Enugu State. And the last story we have Konkoso Trump Ganduji in Kano as INEC declares the NNPC Abba Yusuf governor-elect. And that's all on the Voice of Liberty. And this is how far we can go on the program. Thank you, Rachel, for doing this with me. Thank you to our callers and also the crew members for making this program a success. Until we come here again, please do remember to be peaceful and have a blessed day ahead.